Welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. I'm Keith and welcome to the top five signings of this season's transfer window. Now, going into this, there's a couple of things. First of all, I didn't include players that are signing loans, so these players are all permanent signings. There are a couple of difficult choices here. Some of these might end up being flops, who knows, etc. etc. It's important that you let me know in the comments your top five signings of the transfer window, or maybe your favourite signing from the club you support. This is just simply my opinion. That's all. So no one's opinion is wrong in this particular matter. And number five, I've gone for Craig Cunningham of Galway United. Now, it's a massive signing for me for Galway United. You'd think a year or two back, you wouldn't see them sign a player like this. A player that was actually signed from Preston North End. He's 33 years of age. He brings back a lot of experience, a Galwegian himself. And I think he'll work well under John Caulfield, particularly next season. Quite a few of these signings, I think, you may not see really the best or the worst, depending until next season, to be honest with you. But it'll be interesting to see which ones can actually hit the ground running. But Greg Cunningham is a player that left back, can also play centre back too. He adds to that experience and that, knowledge within the group at Galway United as well, in my opinion. And a player that still has a lot to offer, I believe. I think it proved to be a very, very good sign for Galway United. So Greg Cunningham is in at number five. And number four, I've gone for Aiden Keena of St. Patrick's Athletic. And this is one of those signings I think could very often go one or two ways, particularly a striker. When you bring back a striker in the league that was already in the league, you're just not sure how it'll go exactly. But you can't blame Pats, who beat off Bows to get him and bring them back to the club. Again, it shows a bit of ambition, and Pats have made a number of very interesting signings. Kazim has come in from Galway. Anang has come in. Who's the other player? He's left me for some reason. Zach Elbazetti has come in as well. And, there's an argument to be made for any of those players being on anyone's top five list also. But Keena is the one that, if he does well, his impact will be more important, if you like, than the other Pats players, because we all know how hard it is to get a striker in this league that scores goals and that stays in the league. Keena himself, a couple of years ago, scored a lot of goals at Sligo Rovers and obviously left to Cheltenham for a club record fee. Had a good first season, didn't go so great from last season, but I think he's coming back with a bit of experience as well at 25. Elbazetti's 27 as well, so Kenny's adding experience, if you like, to the ranks. Pats had a lot of players in the early 20s and teens, for example, before. But I think these signs show the pull Kenny has as well, to be honest with you. And it'll be interesting to see, particularly next year. But can King gonna hit the ground running? Who knows? Interesting signing. Will he do as well as he did at Sligo Rovers? Even if he did three quarters as well as he did at Sligo Rovers, it'll prove to be an excellent sign for Pats going forward. So it's certainly an interesting one to keep an eye on. But I have Keena in at number four. Now, at number three, I've gone with Shane Farrell of Drogheda United. And I think this represents more of a important signing for a team battling at the bottom end of the table. They've made a few signings, Drogheda. They've brought in a centre-back, Bolger. Very recently, Aaron Harper-Bailey, who's another centre-back, 22-year-old, who came in for West Brom, has been signed as well. So Luke Dennison in goal is another one that's signed, and obviously the loan signing of Douglas James Taylor up top too. So they make quite a few signings in this window, this summer window, Drogheda United. But I think Shane Farrell is an important one, because when you need players, to really battle for you, and players maybe who are good players but are out to prove a point perhaps, I think that could be crucial for Drogheda. He can play in a number of positions as well. He's already played a couple of games for Drogheda, and one of them was in midfield, and he's been very good in both games for Drogheda. So good start there. If Drogheda see the Shane Farrell that was at Shelbourne previously, in which so far they have in the couple of games, then he could be vital in terms of them avoiding the drop. And for that reason, I have him at number 3 as a very, very, very important signing for Drogheda United. Number 2, I flip between these two, by the way, quite a bit. But I've gone for Dawson Devoy of Bohemians. Dawson has come back, obviously, on a multi-year deal to his former club. Obviously signed for MK Dons from the Bulls, and then went on loan to Swindon Town, where he played quite a few games for Swindon Town, by the way, in League Two. But he's come back to Ireland. He seems to be a happier boy when he's back in Ireland, and he's joined Bohemians. Bohemians beat off St. Pat's for his signature too, which was huge. I just talked about some of the players Pat's brought in. If they added the void to that, that would have been an unbelievable window for Stephen Kenny's side. But Bows won the race, and they seem to have a knack of getting former players back to the club, Bows, don't they? Which is a good thing, really, isn't it? Because, that affinity that Devoy had at the club, obviously he still feels it, and he feels comfortable there. And, he obviously played a few weeks ago in the game against Shamrock Rovers in the Cup, where I thought he was excellent. I thought he was really good. He's a player that, it's not too many in the league that can get on the ball, start attacks, keep the ball well. There's very few in the league like that in midfield. Chris Forrester's one of them. Jack Byrne, when he's funny fit at Pats, Pats at Shamrock Rovers, is another one. And Dawson Devoy certainly is one of those as well. And, I don't think he's back to prove a point, to be honest. I just don't think he wanted to be in England, to be honest with you. But he moves back to Bowes, and, he's a player that can create chances. But for me, the biggest thing is, if you have a player in midfield in the League of Ireland, as I said, they're hard to get. You can keep the game ticking, keep the game flowing. And it looks like, to many, that, very simple. But there's a lot of players that can't do that. So, massive sign for Bowes. And best of luck to him. Now, at number 1, I've gone for Ross Tierney at Bohemians also. Ross, another player who was away and came back. Fantastic signing, and he's been exceptional in the couple of games he's already played for Bowes, and he's already been on the score sheet. You wonder when the likes of himself, Devoy, etc. come back, even Keena, have they got not the hunger, desire, but more the confidence, because sometimes players come back for England lacking confidence, or Scotland, but with Ross, really, really good signing, and different player to Devoy. He's a player that likes to carry the ball forward, likes to break beyond the striker, get into the box, pick up pockets, and score goals. And that's a massive thing, because I mentioned when I was talking about Aiden Keena how hard it is to get strikers to score goals and keep them. But if you have a midfielder, for example, Ellis Chapman is one of Sligo, Rovers too, who can do that, then happy days. But he's very good on the press as well. Excellent on the press. He's got good energy about him, Ross, as well, and can dig in also. So combined, it's been a terrific couple of signings for Bowes, and we may not see the best of that for them till next season, when they get all their ducks in a row, let's say, and get a proper pre-season. But both players have showed great signs so far, and I've only played with each other once. But Ross Tierney, for me, I've gone for Ross Tierney at number 1. Once again, let me know in the comments who's been your favourite signings. There's a number of players that could have easily added to the list that were in my head. Harry Wood, for example, back at Shelbourne. He could have easily have been in this list, but I'm not sure if his impact is going to be as good as last time, personally. And I don't think they don't necessarily, Shelbourne, need a massive impact from him because of how well they're doing, if that makes sense at the moment, that kind of way. But he will be there next season. You mightn't see the best until next season, who knows. Dervin is another decent shout from Galway to Dundalk, I believe. And Rory Keating to Cork City in the first division is another big one too. But there's many of them, guys. Let me know once again what you think in the comments. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed before. And once again, as usual, thank you very much for watching, and have a good day. Enjoy the weather.